Hello, one and all. This is my review, reaction, and cut content discussion of That Time We Reincarnated Slime, Season 3, Episode 4. And last episode was mostly Rimuru going around basically being like, hey, my monsters, what's up? How you doing? And I'm mostly expecting the same from this episode, mostly just, a conference with his top brass, be like, alright, everyone okay? Any issues, any major problems? Which, the season's definitely going a lot slower than I expected. I thought we'd already be at, the big battle by this point, or at least, we would have gotten more focus on Hinata and everything going on with the church. But, no, it's mostly just been Rimuru going around chatting up with people. And I'm expecting the same for this episode, though I guess that means next episode will be the one where things actually get, I won't say interesting, because I do find a lot of this really interesting, but more exciting. Seriously, that was such a huge complaint with Season 2. It was basically like, hey, it's Episode 4, and we're still on this freaking conference with the dwarves and the elves. Do something! Fight somebody! Kill someone for the love of God! Sadly, it's going to be a bit longer before we actually get to that, but still, this episode's going to have a lot of interesting elements, just world building, and just tempest building, so let's get started in 3, 2, 1.
分身体を各地に放ち調査していますが大して問題は生じていませんでした
Oh, Zoe, your definition of serious concern varies heavily from other people's. Seriously.
そうか強いて言えば北西の森に
Yeah, Sword Grizzly, that's like an A-rank threat. Most adventurers, like 90% of adventurers, would not be able to kill that thing. So how exactly do you expect, regular travelers, merchants, to walk around with that kind of threat, just off the highway? Bad, Zoe. Very, very bad. Yeah, of course you can turn him into mincemeat, but regular people can't. Yeah, rank A-. Also, just thank God for Raphael being able just to whisper in Rimuru's ear and basically say, hey, by the way, you're about to do something really freaking stupid, so maybe listen up to what I have to say about freaking sword grizzlies. A grizzly bear that is literally covered in swords. Seriously, how did you hear that name and not think, this might be a concern for the average merchant, traveler, or even adventurer?
そんな奴がいるなら新米を派遣するのは危険っすね問題なかろうお前が甘やかしすぎているのではないか
I do love that Gapta, he's not even being like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. He's saying, I don't want to send my new recruits out there to face it and risk possible death. He is actually showing a lot of concern and care for his subordinates, so, good for him. Gapta kind of sucks, and he looks so out of place in this meeting, but he does actually care about his people.
もっと修行を厳しくしてもらえばよかろう。その通り。
Yeah, and that's also shown right there, as he wanted to avoid them going through even worse training with Hakuro here. Which honestly is 1,000 times worse than facing off against a sword grizzly. Yeah, they all are monsters, but Shuna isn't even an Oni, she's an evil Oni. Wait, did she evolve into an evil Oni? She may have. I need to double check that. This is also, Rimuru is all showing great intelligence here. Everyone else is like, oh, we can handle these monsters. But Rimuru is thinking, hey, if people get hurt on our highway, that's going to lower the reputation of Tempest. Whereas if nobody ever gets hurt on the highway, we'll be known as basically the safest place in the entire world. That was really a big thing with Falmouth. Basically, they were the only way to get to the Dwarven Kingdom, and they were able to make a freaking fortune just selling people, a safe, relatively safe route between Blumend and the Dwarven Nation. So Rimuru can make an even safer route to his kingdom, which also has connections to the elves, the dwarves, the demon lords. Then he will be just absolutely rolling in money.
ですが性能と拡張性は段違いです。俺らこの前
I love these two. I absolutely love these two. I mean, let's not forget, and it's very easy to forget, Vest over here was introduced when he literally took his drink and poured it out on Rimuru. And then our dwarven buddy here literally beat him to a bloody pulp. And then got arrested for it. I mean, good lord, the fact these two have bonded so much, the fact these two are so close right now, is just a testament to the power of Tempest, a place where people do get second chances, where they can actually shine in ways they could never shine in the real world. Real world, the rest of the world, the outside world. Well, I'm saying almost definitely, but that's actually the benefit of Tempest, and also the negative. I mean, they're basically turning the worst part of Tempest into the best part of Tempest. Essentially, because there's so many high-level monsters, magic-born, whatever, running around in Tempest, the woods are just literally chock full of magicules, which means that a lot of very strong, powerful monsters end up getting born, like the sword grizzly we just saw. What this thing does, essentially, suck up all of that magicals that normally summon monsters, and instead uses it to create a barrier that keeps monsters away, which, incredible, absolutely incredible. Oh, this is so cool. Seriously, I was literally just imagining like a glass disc they just put on a thing, but this looks just so sci-fi, magical, amazing.
大気中に漂う魔素を利用する仕組みになっているのです。これを利用すれば大気中の魔素濃度を低下させる効果もある。
Oh yeah, also, probably forgot to mention this, but not only do magicules create monsters, they're also kind of bad for people in general. I mean, if you're super strong, you can handle a very large influx of it, but there's a point where it actually can destroy your body. I mean, back when Rimuru did his whole, revival into a demon lord thing, everybody had to get really, really far away because the magicals were just so intense it would have killed normal people. Even Yom had to basically just bolt as far as he could. Yeah, I mean, that's a really cool part of this. I mean, magic crystals are basically considered almost useless because when you use them, most of the magic just kind of disperses into the air. But this device's entire function is to absorb the magic in the air to keep itself running. So even if 90% ends up just getting, shot out, it'll just get sucked back in again and the process repeats indefinitely, essentially. Yeah, unfortunately, this thing is really freaking heavy, which is one of its major flaws. Thankfully, though, they have Geld and other just crazy strong monsters. Yeah, actually, I think they said CD player in the light novel, but that might have been a translation thing. So Rimuru basically explained how record player, CD player, whatever worked, and they're like, hey, we can make changeable discs on our magic tool so it can do basically anything. That is an insane, absolutely insane leap they made, and I'm excited to see what more they do with it. Yeah, personally equipped magic players. I mean, that seems like it'd be a really impressive magic tool. Just if you're just imagine using that, like in a dungeon, you're traveling, you're surrounded by monsters, forest area. You can just use one of those, set up a mini barrier around you and your party, so you can sleep safe. That would be insanely useful. Oh my freaking god! Oh god, there's a reason why I love this anime so much. Seriously. Shuina and Shion at a rave. I mean, that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Okay, they're placed really close together here, but I'm pretty sure, in the light novel they said there'd be one placed every 6 miles. Also, fun fact, this world doesn't have a concept of miles, but Rimuru knows miles, so he just made mile markers along the highway and expected people to figure it out eventually. That is the most arrogant thing this slime has ever done, and I absolutely love it.
実によく考えられているな。使い勝手もいいし、汎用性も高い。
それが完成すれば。
No! God freaking no, man. You unleashing your aura would literally kill, probably everybody. I mean, Rimuru would survive, and I know that, but I guess also Benimaru, but everyone else is a bit up in the air. Obviously, all the goblins would die. I think Shion and Benimaru would probably be the only survivors there, so no, Veldora, you are too freaking strong. Oh god, I love that even Diablo looked a little panicked right here, like, what is this idiot talking about? Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, that's actually kind of an insane thing for him to say here. I mean, he says in the light novel that his stomach got way bigger after the evolution, but yeah, I mean, just imagine that all of his magicals, everything that would normally go to waste, he just absorbs, he just, digests essentially, and he can pull it out whenever he wants from his stomach. That gives him an almost limitless supply of energy in a fight, and means he is so insanely strong. I absolutely love that Diablo is coming to Veldora's defense here, especially because he knows, if I don't solve this problem now, we're all probably gonna die. Well, not me, but a lot of other people, and that would upset Rimuru. He is such a good butler. First off, in Light Novel, Diablo says he would give Veldora an A grade in terms of effort, the amount of effort he's putting into expressing them, but also, yeah, banging out all your magicals is, I can't even say the equivalent nuclear bomb. It's the equivalent of 100 nuclear bombs and could fully decimate a country. So, no.
どこかでドカンなどされてしまうと、その周辺は死の大地になってしまうな。やばい魔物が大量発生するとか、カリブディス級のバキ。
I mean, you could also use it as a chance to get some Charybdises to actually, absorb, to eat, to get their scales, to make more armor. It's not an absolutely insane plan. Just, do it in a place where there's absolutely no life whatsoever.
物が生まれてしまうかもしれない。ブルトは。はい。どうぞ。
Oh god, Shuna, you are so freaking adorable, and I love you. So that is kind of a messed up image right there of Rimuru's tentacle mouth. And yes, oh god, Gopta did sleep through the meeting in the light novel as well. Though they didn't change rooms, so... this is even funnier. They just fully left him behind because he was sleeping. Also, I do want to say how much I love them transitioning to, the outside to actually show this device working. I mean, in light novel, this whole conversation happened, in the conference room where there was no images, so the talking made sense. But here, visual media, it makes way more sense to have them out and about actually testing and showing off this device. And of course, he got hurt for it. Good freaking lord. Wow. Honestly, this is something I was most excited about this episode, because, I mean, light novel, obviously no images, but the description of this thing was so incredibly vague, I couldn't make heads or tails of it. Rimuru basically said, I wanted to make a skyscraper, but then decided to do something different. That was it. So, yeah, this is what Rimuru was planning on building. Holy mother of God above. No wonder Gelb is afraid. Or not necessarily afraid, but nervous about failing this project. The loss would only amount to the cost of one city. Jesus Christ, Rimuru. I know you're swimming in, coins right now, but still, that is an insane amount of money. And of course, even Gopta's got to put his foot in it like, oh yeah, I messed up too, but you don't know about it, so I'm not going to say it. That's interesting, because, I mean, light novel, I don't think it was in the last episode either. There's more of a discussion about how Geld is failing to use the magic-born slaves that they're currently, keeping in Clayman's castle, because essentially he is too much of a perfectionist. He wants to basically, do everything perfectly for Rimuru, because Rimuru has done so much for him, even sparing him after, his father was the orc disaster and killed so many monsters. Even, the Oni's village was wiped out because of him, partly because of the role he played, so he just always wants to make sure that he's living up to, all the trust that Rimuru has put in him. And there's also a very interesting discussion here. Again, I don't think this was in the last episode, where, Gel basically says, hey, can I go back to some of the other orc villages and recruit them? And Rimuru says, no, use the prisoners. And, this really bothers Gel because, all monsters have thought communication, so they can basically instantly explain what they want from one another, and allows for seamless building, seamless work. But because Gel doesn't have that with the Magic-born, his orders get lost, his orders get confused. This was mentioned briefly last episode, but the big thing here was Rimuru basically saying, you need to work with them, because otherwise we're basically saying that only monsters can live in this town, that only monsters can advance, can progress, can actually do anything. I think he even says, would you have the human/magic-born/ non-monsters who come to this country be relegated to cleaning toilets, because that's the only job they're actually qualified for, because they don't have thought communication. It's honestly a really interesting conversation. Yeah, really. He's trying so hard to learn proper etiquette, and it is just... he's bad at it. He's so bad at it. Also, the king is educating him, which is really important, because Yom is functionally illiterate, so... that's a problem for a king. Oh, I love it. I love the whip. I mean, King Edmaris, he really came across as, a beaten, broken man, but here, as an instructor to Yom, I like him. I really do like him. I mean, I've said this before, it's so weird how much I love this king as a character, despite how much I hated him when he first appeared. Yeah, the Archbishop you sent with a message to Hinata, he never showed back up, even though I ordered him to, and even though I literally hold his soul in my hands. I'm sure that's not a problem, though. Yeah, there'd definitely be a bit of an issue if a demon, walked into Ingracia, one of... I think the largest city in the West. Yeah, I think the largest city in the Western nations. So they kind of had to, just leave him on his own and hope that he managed to get to the teleport gate, which teleports him to the Holy Kingdom of Lublis, whatever. Yes, it very much would be. Only an insane person would try to break into the holy country. Also, doing so would be seen as, literally an act of war, and they're already kind of in a weird situation with Lubelius. I mean, that would make a certain amount of sense, because, essentially... Hinata is the leader, essentially the leader of a religion focused on exterminating monsters, and her plan involves coordination with Clayman, a demon lord. So, yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for those two to be working together unless she was basically tricked into doing it.
ぶっちゃけて言うとさ、ひなたが誰かに命じられて動くとは思えないんだよね。
Yeah, that's very true. She is incredibly stubborn, and nobody short of a literal god can actually contain her, can actually control her in any way.
聖騎士団長であるひなたが言うことを聞く相手は神ルミナスだけだ。
Except, like I said, a literal freaking god.
神ルミナス。ルミナスだと？
Yeah, Veldora, you know that name. You literally saw her about 2 months ago, and you have already forgotten.
あの女には。
それを踏まえた上で。
Oh, Rimuru, no, no, no. She is in fact exactly that dumb, and literally volunteered 2 episodes ago to race into Tempest and murder Veldora herself. Oh, I love it so much, seriously. Again, I can't really blame her all that much because power scaling in this world is weird, and nobody really knows how strong anyone else is. I mean, there have been points in this series where King Gazelle, the leader of the dwarves, has been described as weaker than Hinata, as strong as Hinata, and stronger than any demon lord who has ever lived. I kid you not, somebody actually thinks that. Oh, I love this series. Anyway, though, yeah, it makes sense why Hinata thinks she could actually beat Veldora. Thankfully, though, her god told her not to. Her god told her, if you do that, you will die. Oh, I love this chart. Incite revenge, Hinata attack Rimuru. Incite war, Falmouth attack on Tempest. Incite enemies of God, Western Holy Church weakening monsters. Order to awaken Clayman, analyze communications. All this leads to the fall of Tempest. Yeah, so basically, Yukio, aka he, used Hinata's drive for revenge along with her faith, used Falmouth's greed along with their fear of losing their trade route, and used Clayman's desire to evolve, all to lead to the fall of Tempest. Or I guess it might be more accurate to say they wanted Tempest to fall as, you know, more of a side effect of their grander plan to evolve Clayman and take over the world. It wasn't their main goal, but, you know, by doing all of this, they were able to take a step closer to their actual goal. Seriously, are they actually just showing Yukio there standing behind Clayman? Oh, I love that. Absolutely love that. So, yeah, Yukio, or is it Yuki? I'm actually just Yuki. Can't remember right now. Yuki trying to fight Rimuru would end very badly for him, because if he could win, he just would have killed him himself. So instead, he's just plotting from the background, plotting from the shadows, setting things up in a way that inconveniences Rimuru and leads to his own plan succeeding. Hopefully. Well, I mean, he has revenge. He wants revenge for Clayman's death, but Rimuru doesn't know that, and more importantly, right now, it's not like a huge, major issue for him. Yeah, Diablo basically figured out all this on his own without Raphael. Man, this dude is smart. Yep. The merchants gave the king information about Tempest's goods, which, you know, is kind of suspicious, especially because I believe Hinata mentioned that there was a merchant who gave her the information about Rimuru being the one that killed her teacher. So, yeah, these merchants are crazy suspicious right now. Okay, love that. Rimuru actually managed to outthink both Raphael and Diablo. Good for him. Oh, I love that transformation. Just the, you know, hair back. It's just all so smooth. It's beautiful. Love that, seriously. He's like, alright, we're gonna plan for war and for a grand festival at the same time. That is so Rimuru. She is so eager for a role, for a job, for literally anything to do.
シオンはあれだランガと共に俺の護衛だなはい
Oh, Ranga, I absolutely love you. And I love that Shion is basically just Ranga in a female form and a purple suit.
これでよし
我は
ベルドラはみんなの邪魔をしないように
任せるがよい
He's so proud to have a job that's just don't interfere, don't do anything. Just stay over there and just be absolutely quiet, please.
不安だそれとゴブタ君
And he fell asleep again. And was again sent to Rimmer's office, both for falling asleep twice and for admitting he made a major mess up earlier and didn't tell anybody about it.
君は俺の執務室に来なさいこうして魔王になってもいつもと変わらぬ感じで幹部会は終了したのだった
Oh, wow. Okay, I absolutely love this shot. So this is the Holy Kingdom of Lubelius. That's obviously the sacred mountain back there with the holiest of holies on top, which just, Jesus Christ, that's a huge mountain. I mean, I figured it was big, but these are giant, like 50, 100 foot tall walls. So this mountain is like basically Everest in a relatively mild, relatively flat area. Okay. Very interesting. Hey, we got all the saints and the battle sages.
待たせたわね。それでは始めましょう。
I love that we just went from one conference and now we're going over to another conference, which Hinata is leading with the battle sages. Actually wrote down all their names because I don't remember their names. Great Saint Arnold Ver, Great Saint Renard of Light, Great Saint Litas of Water, Great Saint Bacchus of Earth, Great Saint Fitz of Wind, Great Saint Guard of Fire, and the battle sages Glenda, Grigori, and Sar. Good freaking lord, this is too many people. In fact, even the author says, yeah, you know, I made too many of these guys. I fully forgot about at least 2 of them. So, yeah, this is a lot of people we're going to need to learn their names, the names of next episode. Huzzah! Alright, so overall, I really enjoyed the episode. Really love the just, added flair and dynamics they added to this relatively mild discussion about what to do for moving forward with Tempest and who exactly is plotting the shadows to kill them all. Next episode, we finally get into Hinata's story, what's going on with her, what's going on with all the great sages, how she became I think we already saw how she became the leader of, the leader of the Templar Knights. So there's some more details about that, and I don't know, maybe her backstory as well, because yeah, that girl has quite a backstory. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. But please let me know what you think down below. What do you think of this episode? What do you think of the changes they made? What do you think Rimuru is going to do next? What do you think Hinata is going to do next once she gets Rimuru's message? Let me know what you think all this down below. And until next time, peace!